everybody, and this is a bit of an unusual sight. Normally we are up on the lookout on the other channel, but apparently we were meant to go live there, but unfortunately we weren't able to activate live streaming on that channel yet. So for now, we're gonna have it on here. So basically, it's gonna be on the main channel, but we will be recording this, and we'll be then uploading it to the podcast channel coming very soon. So if you want to just check out our podcast, you can then check it out by following the link I'm going to be posting in the chat right here. So this is just kind of like a little preamble. So Hab's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, and he's had his first jab. So his first,
I did.
His first shot for the vaccine. So congratulations! Yay!
Yeah, I'm recovering from the first jab.
Okay, no, cool. This is just a little preamble for everybody. So we are just we are just getting things all set up, and we will now get things rolling. So with that, we got 260 people. Awesome. Yeah. I think I've just I have turned it up. So
yep.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are just saying it's still quiet. Okay, right. Just there. That should be enough.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and then do that. All right. Right. So with that, we're gonna and then we'll go straight into how this, and we usually do one of these things. All right. So with that, let's get rolling. So, hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Up on the Lookout podcast. But this time, we are joined by not only our sidekick Havarok.
Hello.
We are also joined by many other people live on the chat on our podcast channel. And if you are listening to the audio version of this podcast, you can find it on YouTube by searching for Up on the Lookout, the Dragon Ball podcast. So we now have our proper channel, and we are looking ever forward to getting to 1,000 subscribers, and ideally so we can turn monetization on. That'd be fantastic. So if you are listening to the audio version but you'd like to have a video version as well, you can subscribe to Up on the Lookout on YouTube, and this is where hopefully the live streams will be in the future. So if you are a MasakoX channel subscriber, go over to the link you can find on masako.cc/podcast, and I will pin that. Message to the top. So there we go. There we go. So you can go and check out there and get yourself subscribed. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of the topics for today. So we are here because it is Goku Day. Or Piccolo Day. It's Piccolo Day as well, because we do have to be considerate to the Namekians in the audience, because we have to remember it is Piccolo Day as well, because that came first. So that has to, be credit where credit is due there. But the fact of the matter is that there are loads of big announcements coming out regarding Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super. And there's plenty to be going through, especially looking on the brand new Dragon Ball website. I've had a little tinker on this on both mobile and on the desktop version. It's a really nifty website. It's really well designed. Yep. So, really, really impressed. So you have?
Yeah, I really like it, and I think that, it shows that they want to globalize Dragon Ball more, which is interesting, because it took them some time after Broly to get to a truly worldwide release stuff. But seeing how we get manga on the same days as Japan, it seems that there are some plans to make everything more accessible,
Yes, definitely. It really feels like they are trying, because it's not localized just in English, but also in French, German, Spanish being very important there. It's all in real time, and the content's a little bit thin on the ground, but I'm sure that will develop in the fullness of time. But it only just came out today, and it looks really good. So it's dragon-ball-official.com. So you can look at that. And Manifesto, you can leave a super chat if you want, but we're not aiming for that today. So if you do want to leave a super chat, then you can do, and we will mention stuff. But we are looking at the chat as well, so we are having a bit of user feedback as well. So if anything leaps out at us, we shall obviously cater to the audio listeners of this podcast. So yes, now we just need to talk about the movie, because that's the main draw for this podcast. And also, hey, 100 likes, nice. Okay, so we okay, right at the beginning, it all started when Geekdom found that little snafu of the similar articles of, like, you know, it's that thing at the bottom of a website of, oh, you like this article, well, maybe these articles might be of interest to you as well. And you just hovered over it, and it then basically told you everything you needed to know. A movie in 2022 on Goku Day is going to be announced. It's Dragon Ball Super. And yes, sure enough, it got pulled down, that similar articles bit, and it then has been confirmed late last night. And now with the website fully open, it's now part of the news thing as well. So it says, big announcement, the new Dragon Ball Super movie is planned for 2022. And it now comes with not just this fact, they've now not just said that, they've now also gotten some notes from Akira Toriyama, right like what we had at the beginning of January 2018, when the Broly movie got announced. Because I remember when I listened to a Kanzenshu podcast about that, when I was flying over to the US for something. Like, it was at the beginning of 2018 that we got the first inkling and clues it had something to do about the origins of the Saiyans. And I remember there was a collective groan of like, oh, great, okay, more Saiyan stuff. But we got Broly, so, you know, we got that. So we'll talk to you right now what Toriyama had to say, because he provided some comments like he traditionally does. So in it, he says, an all-new movie since Dragon Ball Super Broly is currently in the making. Just like the previous movie, I'm heavily leading the story and dialogue production for another amazing film. I really shouldn't talk too much about the plot yet, but be prepared for some extreme and entertaining bouts, which may feature an unexpected character. We'll be charting through some unexplored territory in terms of the visual aesthetics to give the audience an amazing ride. So I hope everybody will look forward to the new movie. Yeah, it's typical Toriyama fluff, but there are a couple of things in there that do kind of strike out at me, as it were.
First, people are afraid that the new visuals might be CG, but I think that for now it might be jumping the shark, and we all know what the people think about CG in Dragon Ball movies. Like in Broly, arguably the CG elements were the weakest ones, but on the other hand, like Lupin the Third had a very good CGI.
Yes. It depends on what you want to do. You either want to go for the full CGI route, like with Lupin the Third, that turned out amazing, or you go down like sort of what happened with Knights of Sidonia and Berserk, where it's like trying to be 2D, but it's 3D. And admittedly, Polygon Pictures and Knights of Sidonia did better than that. It lent itself to the art style. Berserk, oh dear. No.
Also Miyazaki in 3D weren't that good. But remember, that doesn't have to mean like it doesn't mean that it's CG. It may as well be 4K. It may as well be something entirely different. You know, it doesn't have to be CG. One important thing to note is that apparently this movie has been in development before Broly.
Yes. Well, definitely, and it stands to reason that Toriyama would have wanted to do a couple of movies, you know, in the works, and we probably would have had this movie at the end of 2020 had COVID or the Roni Rona not happened. So, had that not happened, we probably would have had the movie already, or at least it would be very, very close to coming out.
Yep.
It's just down to what the global circumstance was that things got delayed. And people that were working on Dragon Ball productions got moved on to One Piece, because that was like, One Piece is still going. We need people making One Piece. And even then, it got delayed a couple of weeks, I think, right at the beginning. But, yeah, things had to be moved and resources had to be struck up. So, now, as Geekdom has said a couple of times, things have started to get back to a regular schedule. Things are starting to look up in terms of productions that were meant to happen in 2020, but obviously got delayed. So now seems like they're starting to get their production crews back to where they were pre Roni Rona. And so, I mean, with CGI, I'm like, it can work, but I really hope that it's like maybe they might be a bit more experimental with the CGI, because in Resurrection F, no, it did not work. It was too early to do that. It just did not work with the 1,000-soldier battle. In Broly, there were moments where it was like, ooh, this looks kind of good. Like when Goku and Vegeta was fighting in blue with Broly, it looked alright. There were a couple of stiff moments, but it looked decent, especially when they were actually doing a mixture of using 2D flourishes with the key and stuff like that. They masked it like with a mixture of 2D and 3D, which was really good. And then when the dimension exploded, it looked amazing. It was incredible.
Yep.
So
yeah, like the worst moments are where they were trying to make the fight look like something from Fighters. No, that was, I think, the worst part of the CGI in Broly.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was it's certainly something that is something to take into account. But we need to. A lot of people in the chat are like kind of talking about the who it might be. I'm seeing some cooler Interlaces. I see a Raditz in there for some reason. That'd be amazing. And a bit of a stretch, I will admit, but I wouldn't say no to a Raditz movie.
Yeah.
They're saying Shallot from Dragon Ball Legends. It's like, oh, okay, that's a bit of an interesting thing. But one of the biggest things that a lot of people are talking about people are thinking it's gonna be Moro, and I'm like, that is not a good thing.
I don't think it's Moro, mainly because it was in development for so long. I think that this is going to be Toriyama original story and not Moro.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like a very counterintuitive move to have Moro, a proper saga. This isn't a movie villain. You can't truncate that entire saga into a 2-hour movie. You'd lose so much of it. And if it did happen like that, then I believe that a series would pretty much be dead in the water. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If they're going to go, oh, we're just going to make movie adaptations of the manga, oh, well, you can count a series goodbye.
Yeah. I'm almost certainly sure that it's not due to Toriyama's involvement and saying that he did the story, while we know that that Moro was Toyotaro's story.
Yeah, it was like Toyotaro getting the keys to the vehicle of Dragon Ball and produced something pretty good, like perfectly solid. There we go.
Yeah, the only way I could see Moro happening is if it's going to be Moro, but in a different story setting made by Toriyama. The same character, but very different story. That's the only way I could see this.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Which again, it's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, I would say. I got a couple of super chats here. We got Lanster offering in some Japanese right here, so I will go and chuck this into Google Translate. Not necessarily the best tool to use, but I will just throw that in there. Oh, it's good evening, Masako-san. Have some yen. Go buy some takoyaki. Hey, I won't say no to some takoyaki. So, Lanster, thank you so much for the 500 yen. That's great. And then James Copen says, I'm hoping for a Universe 6 movie or even a step into the Gods movie. What are you hoping for? Well, that's a good way to actually, we'll say Mike Murray saying Moro would work because Demon Slayer movie was adapting a TV arc and that made bank. That sort of did it in reverse with what the Battle of Gods and Resurrection F did. They had a movie and then made it into a TV arc. It didn't really work that way. If you adapt a TV arc into a movie, and the arcs usually for stuff like Demon Slayer are like usually shorter, like 13, 20 episodes maybe. So you feel like that can work. So fair point. That is a fair point. Credit where credit's due. It did make bank. But James Copen's point of a Universe 6 movie, sort of interesting, but yeah. I think this is what Hav and I tend to really look to the most, and it is simply down to the fact that we think it's gonna be a movie, but cooler.
Yeah. Like cooler is pretty obvious at this point. Like I think that in that movie we may see cooler Frieza and Broly because, as Gigdo mentioned, like Toriyama left those characters alive because he needs them for something. He has plans for those characters. So I wouldn't be super surprised if we get like a cooler movie with Broly and Frieza involved.
Yes, I definitely believe so. I mean, just, the way you were describing, I'm just thinking like, yeah, like a movie with Broly, Frieza, Cooler in it. Oh my goodness, this is a fan fiction writer's dream.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds on paper, my inner 9-year-old's going, yeah. It's really, that's hype inducing. If it's Dragon Ball Super Cooler, because it does sort of make sense because they're saying which may feature an unexpected character.
Which means that we know that character.
Yes, as in, like, it's an unexpected character, as you say. That's a good point. Because if it was a brand new character, Toriyama would say, with brand new, exciting villains and supporting characters. So they'd be, like, saying brand new people to meet. So
Still, I still think that my favorite joke, like who that unexpected character is, that it's Gohan. I think that's my favorite joke. It's cruel, but.
are you talking about like Grandpa Gohan or regular Gohan?
No, regular Gohan.
Oh man, Gohan has had enough, and the bang is down, and it means evil business. You know, Gohan's had enough of studying. Yeah. Now that everyone wants a conference, there
The
will
great
be no conference.
Dragon Ball Super, the conference.
The great confrontation. Yeah, I mean, it would be unexpected. I'll give them that, but I think probably.
You know what
yeah.
would be? You know what would be like? There's one more option.
Yes, yeah.
That maybe we are getting a movie that will happen after Granola being close to end of Z.
Oh, okay. So you're believing that maybe the Granola arc might be relatively short. Like maybe okay, I see. It's more like it's gonna go into like it's all gonna be timed. Like as soon as the manga arc of Granola is done, it then goes straight into the next bit. So you're thinking it's all going to be timed quite cleverly like that?
Because if you think about it, like they are like Super is in a pretty awkward place, but we know what happens at the end of Z. So this movie might as well show us a new era for Super. Like again, at the very end of Z, which would make sense considering that if it was in development during the same time as Broly, it could just take us 3 years into the future, just before Ub or even just after Ub.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, that is very true, and that is certainly something to consider. Manifesto also mentions, and not only Cooler, but Silver Cooler. That image of him beating Golden Frieza is featured in other discussions, and I think that would be perfect. It would be a nod to Meta Cooler, and I wouldn't put it past the likes of Toriyama to do that, because he is very much of like, with the Broly movie, he was like, I like that Broly character, I'm going to do my own version of him. And lo and behold, he did, and it's actually the superior version. It just seems like that if he did that, I wouldn't be surprised if Cooler has a silver power. Silver Cooler. Gold versus silver.
Yeah.
It's Pokemon all over again from the 2000s.
Yeah, and Crystal Cell.
Oh, Crystal Cell. I mean, you know, so my jaw is dazzling.
I'm sorry, can you imagine if it's Resurrection C?
Oh, Resurrection C. Oh man, I wouldn't know what to think about that. Hey, so long as Tadayoshi Yamamuro isn't the one directing, I'm okay with that. That seriously, that movie has not aged well, because before we went to go and see the Broly movie, me seeing it the third time, we watched Resurrection F, Hav and I, because Hav came over in 2019, and we were like, this is not aged well,
man.
this movie. This is not aged well.
No.
No.
No, there is no movie really. It's just a fight, and that's
Yeah.
it, really.
And again, like the biggest problem about like Frieza is my favorite character, and they managed to make Frieza boring in this movie.
Yeah, he was just so one-dimensional, and
Yeah.
it just makes me glad that in the Tournament of Power saga they gave him some brand new stuff to work with. Like he sort of matured and mellowed out over that time, and actually
Yeah.
gotten his act together.
And even his one dimensionness isn't, like he isn't delightfully evil. He's just, like he isn't entertaining in this movie, and that's I think why this movie failed so much.
I think so. I definitely think so. Solely Train says maybe BoJack could be made into canon as part of the Heaters. I mean, that's sort of an interesting plot, actually. But I think if this has been in develop for a long time, I doubt that the Heaters would have been a thing when they developed this. But I do like your thinking, Solely Train, or Soul Train, that BoJack may have been, somewhat related to the Heaters in that regard. But sort of like he did things a bit more down and dirty than the Heaters do.
You might want to say that you like their train of thought.
Priceless. Gotta give it to you. That is a doozy. But yeah, BoJack. I mean, the fact that if we had BoJack in there eventually, like to see him with his bandana and his appreciation for German architecture. That was the thing. It was like they really harped on about that. It's like, I appreciate the architecture. The architecture. Because he's a space pirate. The Lieutenant Crack Sniper suggests, well, wait, what if it's about future Trunks and Mai? And I'm like, fair point, actually. Like, what do future Trunks and Mai get up to with Whis? Like, is this the introduction of them meeting Cronoa? And, like, sort of then moving down the game route, maybe? Be a bit of a twist. But it would certainly be nice to know that they're not just settling for being in another dimension where there's another copy of them. Yeah, I'll take that, certainly.
Yep.
But hey, it's got to be better what happened to them in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, where, Goku and Vegeta just training, and then Mai just shows up on Beerus's planet. Oh, Mai! And all that stuff. As Totally Not Mark talks about many, many times over.
Yeah.
And then Smash Ultra is saying, will Pan actually have her arc? Again, she's really, really young. She's a toddler at the oldest at this point. It's too early.
If this movie again might be going after the end of Z, maybe, because hey, we can say no for now. It's unknown as of now what time slot of Super will it take.
That is a fair point. It's always something to consider. That this is something that we don't know when the time period is. Once we get more information, you'll certainly find out. And we'll be breaking this down on the Up on the Lookout podcast, which you can on the pinned message is masako.cc/podcast. And you can go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. We're actually almost at 500 subscribers now there, so that's fantastic. So thank you so much for your subscriptions there, everybody. And you will find more content there as well, including us uploading all of the ones from last year. And then once we've done that, all the new ones will be going there immediately once they've been recorded and whatnot. So that'll be pretty exciting. Definitely a new era for the MasakoX channel and the MasakoX brand of channels, so it'd be fantastic. So thank you for your support there. And do let me know if you are subscribed or you plan to subscribe in the chat. So let's take a look at the chat. Let's see if there's some humdingers of like musings right there. Do you still see a lot of people saying stuff about Cooler? Shalbrick's like saying Android 13, the trucker hat! I mean, Android 13 would certainly be a bit of a twist there. Bimo Setyawan does point out Android 21. And I'm like, because some people were like going, it's the 21st Dragon Ball movie. Android 21. Tin Hat people. I'm like, not sure. Not sure about that.
Maybe.
I mean,
As long as they tone her down and increase her scientist aspect,
yeah,
I would be fine with that. But
that is definitely true. I mean, to be fair, it can be done, but they would have to they have to take it down a notch.
terrible, terrible. I mean, yeah, Sadala, Mr. E, 2099. Yeah, we are thinking that this might be the Sadala arc. Maybe one of the reasons that we haven't seen so much of of Universe 6 lately, it's because Toriyama had this project in the works. Maybe.
Yeah. It's there's until we hear more from Toriyama about when exactly development started, but it's safe to say it's no later or earlier than 2018, because that's when things started with the Broly movie. So it's certainly been in development for a good few years, which is very nice to hear with Dragon Ball Productions, especially after the FAF of Super, that things have been planned and thought through. Okay, so Manifesto says, would this movie take place before the Moro arc?
We don't know. It's hard to say.
But it does give me some consideration. There is, between the Moro arc and Granola, there is a good couple of months.
Yeah.
So it could be in between. This could imply that it might be timed to work with the Moro saga. So when the Moro saga finishes, maybe if they do animate it, there's a movie, and then they can go into the Granola arc. The anime takes a break, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a potential theory. Yeah.
Yeah, like again, this movie is still labeled as Dragon Ball Super, but remember that Battle of Gods and Resurrection F were Z movies.
Yes.
They were like in between, and I'm starting to think that maybe if they are going to go past End of Z, maybe this might be the beginning, one of two movies that will take us in the next era,
Oh, what? Like sort of preparing us for it?
Yeah, because think about it. Like you have Moro and Granola right now after Broly.
Yeah.
But Broly was in development earlier, and you had that extra new movie. So this extra new movie needed to be somewhere in the timeline when it wouldn't affect, those stories. So it's either, as Manifesto said, in between or after.
Yes. So it has to be working with the grand plan, because if it started to then go down its own route, it would be making things a bit sort of jarring almost.
Yeah, and confusing.
Yeah, no, certainly you wouldn't want to do that, because we had our problems with that with the Goku Black arc, so we don't need any more of that nonsense and stuff. And Smash Ultra's then saying, what if there's a Goku Jr. anime and there's a lot of interesting fighters if Toyotaro and Akira are running out of ideas for Goku and friends? I mean,
again, that could be interesting, but again, as we've said, it's labeled as a super movie.
Yes, it is. It's specifically a Dragon Ball Super movie. We do know that for certainly. So that is certainly something to consider, and it is pretty much what is going to happen. So it is not. It's a fair point, Smash Ultra, about Goku Jr. It's a decent idea, but it's not really going to be on GT focused and whatnot. Yeah, and Jake Pierce, Goku Jr. was the one from 100 years in the future after the end of GT. Eric Kai then says, how about the return of Colonel Violet? Hey, that's a throwback. That's a throwback indeed. Colonel Violet, one of the toughest women in Dragon Ball. In fact, Philly actually recommended me doing an idea for a discussion about underrated female characters in Dragon Ball. So you can expect that discussion coming up in a few weeks' time. So that one was fun to make, certainly. So do look forward to that. Shalbrick saying the Masked Saiyan Bardock becomes canon. And I'm like,
oh no.
Oh no. We had Bardock in the Broly movie. We've had our Bardock. I said Bodock, a Bojack.
We had Bardock in Granola.
Yes, we had that too. Yeah, that's very true. Bardock appears in the Granola arc. I mean, I don't know whether we'll see him again or whether that was just a one-time cameo thing, but it's certainly something that gives pause for thought. Abraham Thompson says Dragon Ball launch. Well, hey, if you're gonna bring back launch, do it with style, eh? I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say no to that. So, it's definitely something to consider.
King Piccolo returns.
Oh, King Piccolo, and especially on King Piccolo Day, as well. And Exitium saying Yamoshi would be interesting. Yeah. I think that Yamoshi thing. I think that ship sailed now.
I mean, if we are going to find something about Yamoshi, it would be in like a game in Legends or something like this. Like I think we'll find it around Charlotte or something like this.
Yeah, no.
But you never know. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe it will be Yamoshi.
Yeah, I mean it could be, but there's a lot of things to wait for in the meantime. So let's just see who else. Super Greninja Gamer does say the Shenrons, and that is something we do want to see. Have an eye, because Toyotaro really does like his Shadow Dragons, and now that he's introduced Torombo, it's certainly something that one day we might have something we get to see where the dragons live.
The Dragon Realm, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Then Spicy Takoyaki, more takoyaki again. A Zalama movie. Oh, I like the sound of that. I do. I really
Although
do.
you know, like keep in mind that if Toriyama says, "Oh, unexpected characters," like it's like Doofenshmirtz, so it's like totally expected.
As in like reverse psychology, because I mean historically Toriyama really likes to dunk on his audience, like say ha ha ha, you want this to happen, I'm not going to have this happen, ha ha ha. But at the same time now, he's actually not been doing that as much.
Yeah.
He's been a little bit more considerate with the audience. Like, he's not been as, I guess you could say, mean, almost.
He mellowed out in his older days.
Yeah. No, he has mellowed out a bit, and he does seem to be a bit more reflective about his own series. Yeah. Kaguya saying a Monster Carrot movie? Well, I know that the TFS guys made their own jokes about that. And it's so funny that a lot of people in their audience are going like, why do Team 4-Star keep going on about like all this rabbit stuff? And I'm like, it's a common Japanese mythology story, like a fairy tale from Japanese culture. A rabbit making mochi on the moon. And that's what Monster Carrot was sentenced to doing, right up until the moment Piccolo destroyed the moon. So, yeah, there is definitely some previous about this. So there is a reason, and like Kaiser does like his Japanese mythology, so that is certainly something. Frieza Summer, they didn't show the announcement; it was leaked. Well, no, you are correct. It was leaked. It was a very, very surreal and very rookie era, but
it's already.
It's become public knowledge. It didn't happen in the way that Toei probably wanted it to happen. So they had to sort of make do.
It's officially announced right now. So
yeah, it's officially announced right now. I mean, hey, if this had been leaked earlier in the week, that would have been really bad. Yeah. Like they probably would have had to like do a frantic, quick, get the site on now, and all that. Yeah, it would be really a bit. They'd be on the back foot. And I saw there was a parody account of one of the Dragon Ball official website Twitters, and it was in French. So, because this was coming from Toei Animation Europe this leak. And there was like a recruitment tweet saying, wanted, website developer, email your information to here. And I was thinking, oh no, somebody got fired for that one. Oh, jeez. But then it was a parody account. So, yeah, it didn't happen. It wasn't real. It was a parody account. But to be honest, is it really a parody?
Is it really?
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't put it past Toei to do that. Yeah. Sage 2 then drops a super chat saying, "Hey Masako, hoping your chat are having a good day. I haven't heard you mention our best brother Raditz. Potential hell training montage?" I mean, we would love that to happen, but
Yeah.
to be honest, really, it's just not something that we can justify in a way. Like, it's just not realistic.
Raditz would need to jump. Like either they would need to make the whole movie on a and make it entertaining to show that he's weaker than everyone, which can work. But like, see, I do not see Dragon Ball in that intricate of storytelling. You know, like it's not the type of story that Dragon Ball would tell.
Yeah, it's sort of not really, unfortunately. So
yeah,
it would be cute. I'd like to see Raditz mentioned in some capacity, other than what we got in the Broly movie. But yeah, we got to be realistic here. And Sage 2, basically the Hell Training montage, that's Cumber, really. And speaking of, they did show the latest episode of Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the Big Bang mission, Big Bang arc.
Yeah.
And we got to see Cumber's face. Oh, and he looks like Goku as Super Saiyan 3. Oh, with red eyes. Bravo. Should have been Raditz. I swear. I've been saying this for years. Cumber should have been Raditz. Seriously. That would have been far more interesting. Wouldn't you agree, Hav?
Or at least interesting.
Yeah, I'm saying interesting. Yeah, there's that. Oh, and of course, James Macphone was saying Super Saiyan Rose 2 Goku Black. Now that is more like it, heroes. That is more like it. You gotta be bonkers. And I'm thinking, Super Saiyan 2 Rose Goku Black. Oh yeah, that is, now we're talking. Now we're talking here. That is right up my street. I'm very much down for that.
Now, with 50% more British accent.
Well, yeah, I was saying on Twitter, it would be almost like Super Saiyan 2 Rose Goku Black. It's not just a standard British accent, it's a Scouse accent. So, hey, I'm Super Saiyan Rose 2 Goku Black. I'm gonna deck you. Because I'm tougher. I got a mask on. In Dragon Ball, that's extra edgy. Showing more violence and intensity. So, just be scared, Goku. I'm gonna deck you in the schnauze.
Try to imagine how would he sound in Super Saiyan 3, Rose.
No, you'd have to get a proper cockney. Oh, you try to start something, mate. Super Saiyan Rose 3 go to black. Nah, you tosspot. Yeah. So, Darren, not Scottish, Scouse. Oh. Super Saiyan Rose 3 Goku Black. Oh, hello there. Yeah. Oh, and Super. Oh. Yeah, Trunks the Lady Killer. Cumber Faces was very, like, underwhelming. Not even a scar. Like, surely you'd have a scar in there for good measure. But
when he powers down, he kind of looks more like Gohan even.
Sort of, just with and then there was somehow Turles with long hair. That was weird. I've not watched the episode, to be honest. It was just like, oh, okay. Havrock sent me a picture, and I mean, he does
kind of looks like Gohan
with the bang and everything. Jeez. Yeah, right. Yeah. So if you're wondering what we're talking about here, look at the latest episode, and you'll see what we're talking about. Eric Kai, Super Saiyan Rose 3 is Geordie. Why, iPad? Oh, I do love my Geordie accent. It's great. So, by the way, everybody, after this stream is done, I will be uploading the archive of this to the podcast channel, so you can repeat this at your leisure. So it will be on there. So you can go to masako.cc/podcast to subscribe, so you can catch up if you've missed some of this episode. You will be able to get it from there. Right. So what else have we got from here? Let's see. Well, we got Dragon Ball Super Demon Realm from Skype in the Night. I mean, yeah, it'd be cool to see some Demon Realm action, you know, to be fair. Yeah, it did work well in Super Dragon Ball Heroes and Dragon Ball Heroes before. It was
The
certainly
Revenge of Yamcha, we did that.
Oh yes, we very much did that. We very much did that in our what if Yamcha destroyed the universe? What if that was a lot of fun? So definitely for that. Let's see. And oh, I just checked. We dinged 500 subscribers. Yay!
Wow,
Woo!
yay.
Yeah. I'll play one of the sounds right now. So
Excellent.
yes. Excellent.
Oh, that's also a good point. Please Toriyama build on the reality shattering between Broly and Gogeta by implementing Janemba as the next villain.
Ooh, Margin Boy. Yeah, that is a very good point. That is very good. In that, you know, having Janemba in there after Dimension, because, you know, that's pretty much what Janemba did. So if you expanded upon it,
could
be fun.
It was super weird. Like they broke this dimension and nothing was mentioned about it.
Yeah. I mean, Gogeta went, what the? And then Broly was like going like, roar! And that kind of got distracted.
Movie's 21 villain will be El Hermano. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was an option. I think on one of the polls I saw on Twitter about who would it be, and El Hermano did come up on there. You know, that came up, but Cooler again was the number one choice.
Yeah.
So I think Cooler seems to be the favorite amongst a lot of people, and whether that actually is a good thing or a bad thing, it's a bit up in the air, to be honest.
Yeah, some people say that Cooler is a lamer Frieza. I personally like Cooler. I think you can build upon this character by giving him slightly different personality than Frieza, and you can give Frieza something to do.
Yes, certainly. But Smash Ultra also mentions maybe a movie about Mira and Toa. No. Xenoverse does more than enough in terms of their backstory.
Dragon Ball Online, Xenoverse, Heroes. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yes.
Maybe give it to character that didn't have that much of a redesign or spotlight.
Yeah. So, yeah, certainly like that. Almanac Comics says, I wonder if the manga will be written around the upcoming movie, as in the lead up to it. Well, it's something that we did just mention, that it could be something that is in between arcs, or to go at the end of the arc. Hopefully, it'll be working in tandem with the manga.
Yeah, like it may be with a Broly that it would be a side note. Oh, you want to know what happened? Go and see the movie.
Yes, or stream the movie on your platform of choice, or go and see it in the theaters. You know, cross promotion of media. Very, very critical with this kind of stuff. So, definitely something to take into account. Vandalia then mentions the creators of Super have been secretly watching your channel and going to make a movie out of your one-shots. Oh, wow. Admittedly, haven't I do sometimes think that, you know, like with other Dragon Ball YouTube channels, that they are aware of our existence and they do probably pay attention. Not saying they copy our ideas, that'd be a bit too facetious and pompous.
But we wouldn't be surprised that somebody out there watches, YouTube, the YouTubers. And
yeah, just observe.
As a form of research, like.
Yeah. I mean, it was certainly just to keep their finger on the pulse about what the Western Dragon Ball fandoms are like. So yeah, just something to consider. But,
yeah, especially since they are being aware about stuff that people in the internet say, especially with such a global strategy around the site, around the announcement of the movie. I feel that they may look what's popular around the world and not only in Japan. Although you may say that they did it with Broly already, because Broly was pretty worldwide popular character, really.
Yeah, a lot of consensus there. But I think now's a good time just to briefly, before we wrap things up here, look through all the other stuff that was happening on Goku Day. So there was Dragon Ball Super, the Saiyan Raised on Earth, and it was a Namco exclusive of brand new figures that you can get in the crane machines in Japan. And it's Goku performing a Kamehameha in base, Super Saiyan, and Super Saiyan Blue. And all with different colorations, which is kind of neat. So you can expect that to eventually come across to conventions when hopefully they can safely reopen, or onto like eBay or stuff like that. Now, this is something cool. I actually had these in Japan. Dragon Ball Super Warrior sticker wafers. And I had one of those when we were in Tokyo. I had to do some work, and then Philly came back into the hotel and got me one of them. And it was like a bomber wafer. They weren't bad. So the Dragon Ball Super Warrior sticker wafers will go... In fact, they say super twice. They'll go on sale in Japan from May 10th. This is the first set in the Super Warrior stickers series since being powered up to Super. Ooh.
Oh.
And they got shiny stickers. They do look pretty shiny.
Oh.
The series lineup also features... Oh, sorry?
Sorry, one of the stickers, I think it's meant to be Super Saiyan 4 Goku, kinda looks like... what's his name? Zykor.
Oh, yeah, because of the different colorations.
Yeah.
And a shining golden GGR Gold God Rare rarity. So, something there. Then Ichiban Kuji Dragon Ball vs. Omnibus Z Twitter campaign. And this is the Ichiban Kuji series will be progressively released and will feature the Kakore #1 Son Goku figure as the Goku Day prize in this lineup. This version of Goku was selected as the #1 Goku in the Goku Day project, and it's now been finally made into a 3D figure. And this is the Goku with the jacket, the 59 jacket. That is something I really want to find. If I could find somebody who could make a custom jacket, I'd love a leather jacket of Goku's 59 thing he's wearing in between the Cell games. That's one of my favorite looks for Goku, having that jacket. I want that jacket. I saw there was a Mexican website that did it, and it cost like just a few $100. I'd pay for that just because it's something that, but they just keep being sold out. It's crazy. But that jacket, I love. You know, hey, Trunks could do it, you know, being up in the Arctic, because he's fine. He's got a jacket.
Not anymore.
Dokkan Battle's got some new campaigns coming out, so you can look forward to Dokkan Battle and its work across the world and all that stuff. Let's see, and then Fighters has got like some a login bonus in between May 7th and May 12th.
Don't forget to log in.
So don't forget to log in there, so you can get a chance to get 2 lobby characters, as well as a brand new title for yourself, and 590,000 zenny. So you get some money. So you get some in-game money, a special title, and the chance to get some lobby characters. So
I'm actually surprised that they haven't announced any character on Goku Day. That would be perfect. But...
I think they've pretty much gone through their Season 2 roster, I think.
Let me see.
I think they have. We're just going to go and double-check that. But it's certainly something, you know, it's certainly something to consider. And, you know, something with Dragon Ball Fighters. Yeah, Jake Pierce, the 59 jacket really looks good. One of these days, I would, you know, I'd like to show off my drip, and that, you know, with that kind of stuff. Yeah, the Brobot is missed. Android 16, absolutely, indeed. Michael Kent, yeah, Global Dokkan, it's, I don't play it anymore because it was a money sink. And it was just like, I'm just sinking all this money for JPEGs. I can't do this anymore. I've got a mortgage, so I've got a mortgage to pay, unfortunately. Real life and all that stuff. Vanilla Cream does say the character could appear as DLC, like an extra bonus one, maybe. Yeah. But then they could always use it for a future year, to have extra bits and stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They already. I forget about Baby and Gogeta.
Oh yes, of course. No, that's fair enough. We do sometimes forget about Gogeta. Sometimes nowadays, especially considering their personality is exactly the same as Vegito. So, you know, that's kind of like the rub in a way. Sword then Orthodox Suzuki, thank you very much for your super chat. So, I think it's now time to like sort of wind things up here. And first of all, we would like to say to everyone who is present, thank you so much for joining us at this short notice. And well, are you excited for this movie?
I mean, I am excited. You know, like, we will have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, oh, certainly. And as you can probably tell, if there's brand new content and new information to talk about, we will be here to discuss them on the podcast, as well as making little community posts and stuff like that. So if you haven't subscribed already, go to Up on the Lookout, search for that on YouTube, and go to masako.cc/podcast from the pinned message up top so you can subscribe. and we can push ourselves to 1,000 subscribers. We've now been able to do 500 subs thanks to you subscribing right now. So thank you very much for your support, everybody. But yes, I'm hopeful that this movie will be good, but it will probably be a good couple of months before we get more concrete information.
And we'll get like probably a very short teaser like for the Broly movie.
Yeah, it really depends on when they want to announce it, or even how far into development they are. That's the other important thing to consider. So we will be watching it with bated breath. So all I've got to say is thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
And thank you all out there, listening out there, or watching, for your continued support. This stream will be moved over to the other channel, so that means you can check it at your leisure if you've not been able to join us earlier on. So all I can say is thanks once again for your support. Do subscribe if you can, and once and always, we'll see you again up on the lookout. Ta-ra!
Bye-bye.